and in this part we will discuss about all the organelles or all the parts of the cells in detail. So let's first start with the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is also called cell membrane because it is the outermost covering of the cell. So outermost covering of the cell, plasma membrane is the outermost covering of the cell. Separates content of the cell from the external environment. It separates the external environment and the inner organelles of the cells. So coat of phospholipids. It is coated with the phospholipids. Allows only selected molecules to enter the cell. Therefore, it is called semi-permeable membrane or SPM. It allows only the entry of few molecules that are required for the cell, and no other molecules can enter. All the other molecules can enter through the cell. So it is also called selectively permeable membrane or SPM in short. Flexible, made up of lipids. Lipid means fats, proteins, and carbohydrate chains. It is made up of fats or lipids, proteins, and carbohydrate chains. So flexibility enables the cell to engulf food. Means flexibility helps the cell to take in the food and other material from its external environment. It can take the food and other external and other important things which are required for the cell through the plasma membrane. The process is called endocytosis. This process is called endocytosis. Endo means inside and cytosis means going inside the cell. Anything that is important for the cell, that is required for the cell, is called endocytosis. Taking inside the cell through the plasma membrane. Example, amoeba. Amoeba is one of the examples. So let's discuss in the detail. What are the two types of endocytosis? Let's discuss them. Now we will discuss the two different ways how the end-osmosis takes place or exosmosis takes place. So diffusion and osmosis. These are just similar to each other, but difference is diffusion takes place in gases and osmosis takes place for liquids or water because cell needs water. So first we will see diffusion. Substances can move across the cell membrane by diffusion. The changes in the substances which are required for the cell takes place because of the diffusion. Spontaneous movement. What is the spontaneous movement? The movement of gases from the higher concentration to the lower concentration is called spontaneous movement. The movement from higher concentration to lower concentration is called spontaneous movement. Gaseous exchange. This takes place or diffusion takes place for gaseous exchange, intake of oxygen and exit for the carbon dioxide. H2O also obeys diffusion, which is called osmosis. This is the special process of diffusion of the water which is called osmosis and which we are going to discuss here. But before going to that, let's see what is this spontaneous movement and how it takes place in the diffusion. So let's see with the diagram. Suppose that this is a cell and here these are some gases. These colored ones are carbon dioxide and these blank ones are oxygen. And this is inside the cell and this is the surrounding of the cell. Here some amount of carbon dioxide and oxygen. You can clearly listen here and understand what is this process. So as you can see, this one is CO2 and this without colored blank dots are O2. O2 means oxygen, CO2 means carbon dioxide. So as you can see inside the cell, carbon dioxide molecules are very much present here. So these molecules will move outside. As the plasma membrane is a semi-permeable membrane, so it allows some substances to enter in and exit out. So these molecules of carbon dioxide will move out. And when this carbon dioxide molecules came out, then the blank space which is created inside these cells, which is created inside the cells are totally blank places. So to fill these places, the oxygen molecules came inside these cells. These oxygen molecules will come inside the cells and carbon dioxide molecules will go outside, because carbon dioxide is a type of waste which is thrown out of our body and it is often thrown out by our individual cell. So this is the process which is called diffusion. Now we come to osmosis. Osmosis is a special type of diffusion which takes place from the water. Movement of H2O from higher concentration to lower concentration. It is called osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of water from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. Takes place in living cells. Remember that when the cells are dead, they do not perform osmosis. When the living cell takes place osmosis, then the water is coming from the higher concentration to lower concentration, and you can easily understand by these three diagrams which I am drawing here. So there are three types of solutions in this: hypertonic solution, hypotonic solution and isotonic solution. So when the H2O means water in the cells is less than H2O in surrounding, where the surrounding in the surroundings the water is present in higher concentration, and in the cells water is in the lower solution. So this is called hypotonic solution. Hypotonic solution. So hypotonic solution. So let's understand here. This is the cell and water molecules in the cell are less than water molecules in the surroundings. Surroundings water molecules are present in a large amount. So the concentration of the water in the surroundings is higher than the concentration of the water in the cells. So obviously the cells, the molecules of the water will come inside the cell, and this is why the hypotonic solution, when we put some racins inside this, because H2O cells means racins. Suppose that we have racins and racins are shrinked. When we put inside the hypotonic solution, then the water inside these racins is not present at all. So the water in the surrounding is higher than the water in the cells. That's why the cells intake of the water and the cell swell up. Means racins, after some time you will see the racins will swell up. So hypotonic solution always gives swell up. Means in these cells always swell up when they are put inside the hypotonic solution. Now second type of solution, which is isotonic solution. When H2O in the cell and H2O in the surrounding are equal. H2O in the cell and H2O in the surroundings are equal. Then also the osmosis takes place. But here, when we see the net total of the change in the cells, so we can see no change, because how much of molecules are going outside the cell, that much of molecules are coming inside the cell. So the net movement of the water is 0. So this type of solution is called isotonic solution. Isotonic solution. Isotonic solution, when let's understand with the diagram. When the water molecules are inside the cell and outside the cell are equal, then the movement of water is equal in both the directions, but the net movement of the water is 0. So in this type of condition, the cell will not swell up or shrink. It will remain constant. It will be same as before. So this type of solution is called isotonic solution. Now there is third type of solution, which is hypertonic solution. Some people get confused between the hypotonic and hypertonic solution. Well, it is very easy for you to understand with the diagram. So let's understand the third type, which is hypertonic solution. When H2O in the cells is higher than H2O in surroundings, H2O in the cells is higher than the H2O in the surroundings, then this type of solution is called hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution. Let's understand with the diagram. Suppose this is the cell and water inside the cell is higher than the water in the surroundings. The water in the surrounding is less than the water present in the cells. So what happens here? The molecules of the water will move outside the cell. The molecules of the water will go outside because inside there is the higher concentration and outside the surrounding there is a lower concentration. So these water molecules will move outside the cell. So what happens here, when something is going from our body or from the cell, what happens? We will just shrink up. Yeah. So the cell will shrink. The cell will shrink up, compress. So this type of solution is called hypertonic solution. Please don't be confused between hypotonic and hypertonic because both are starting from H. So some may get confused here because isotonic solution there is no net movement of water. The net movement is 0. So there is no problem with isotonic, but in the hypotonic and hypertonic. So don't be confused. So hypotonic solution is when the H2O in the cells is less than the H2O in the surroundings. And hypertonic solution, what happens? H2O in the cells is higher and the H2O in the surroundings is lower. So this type of solution is called hypertonic solution. So we have completed here plasma membrane. In the next video we will learn about more organelles. Thanks for watching.